Got it.
Well, I'm very excited to have with me today one of our star students, I'd like to say. Mike Maddocks from Maddocks Mindset is joining me today to have a quick chat just about how he enjoyed studying with the Institute of Empowered Psychology, and how Mike is now using his studies in NLP and hypnotherapy and timeline therapy to succeed in life and in his career. Welcome, Mike.
Yeah, thanks. It's great, Ashlyn, to be here again on the other side now that I spent so much time in the classroom and that intensive training with you guys, which I found awesome. And yeah, here we are. It's weird to think where we were before, and I guess now just as a student, kind of coming in, wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, and now I'm a coach on the other side. So that's cool.
That's right. Well, what inspired you to take up the NLP training in the first place, Mike?
So I always wanted to become a coach, but I never really knew how to become a coach. I just knew that that's where I wanted to get to. And one of my friends who was a successful coach basically mentioned that I just need to start with NLP first. That would be a good foot in the door into becoming a coach, and not have to go to all the major, one of these coaching institute schools to do like proper life coaching programs or anything. So that's kind of just the path and direction that I took, was jumping into the NLP course, and that led me to you guys and studying and graduating.
Well, you were just amazing, and you provided so much to our classroom during your time at the Institute, and we're really grateful for you choosing us to do your studies in NLP. Now, let's talk a little bit about the course itself. Like you said, you didn't know what to expect, you were bright-eyed, and so what was it like for you?
It was good because I didn't know anybody in the course. I think there was, at least 10 people in total that I had never met before. And you're kind of coming in and trying to feel comfortable in general in this setting, but it happened very quickly. Yourself and Fran really did a good job of creating that space for everybody to open up. And I felt very comfortable enough to share things that allowed me to go deeper. And when we started by doing, you learn the first half of the theory, and then you go in and you practice it with one of the other students, kind of one-on-ones. You actually get to be client and you get to be practitioner. And that was amazing. And assuming that you put in, you give a real world exercise to it, it becomes like coaching from somebody as well. And so it was really easy to kind of settle in and just feel both like a client and like a practitioner. And you'd go from learning the theory where you are like, oh my God, am I really going to do this with somebody? And then you come out of the study session and you're like, oh, I did it, and it worked, and it was easy, and it worked. I think that was the important thing, is it worked. So that was cool.
Yeah, you got amazing results with your clients during the course, and it's beautiful to see. I think the whole class did, and all of our classes do, and it is wonderful because it can be daunting and a little bit scary to think, oh, I have to share all my stuff, but everybody is sharing. It's a very safe place, even though it's a Zoom room, right? We had people from all over the world there at all different time zones and times of the day. It was a really good mixed group.
It was. And I think everybody was pretty open from the get-go, which made it easy for myself to be open. And you guys were open and very forthcoming in everything. So it created such a great space for everybody to learn. And I loved when we would come to class to begin or come back from a break or something like that. We're getting pumped up with music, and like there were long days, but it didn't feel like long. You were always very engaged in the course, and that helps when you're studying so intensively and giving up so much energy, right?
That's right. Well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. We do try and always create the best environment for our students, and because it's intensive stuff. We're talking about the brain. It's all mind stuff. So it can be quite heavy. But what was your favorite part of the courses, and what was your favorite topic if we were to go back to? I know there was so many topics, but what would you say stood out to you as one of the key?
Good question. I think probably looking back now, the parts that I seem to default back to the most are helping somebody disassociate from the moment so that they can see it from a different perspective. And that was really cool. And then mirroring that with the hypnotherapy. So together, I use those a lot with my clients today, just to help them kind of see life from a different perspective. And I remember doing that in the courses, and it feels like meditating almost, or just visualization, but it's so powerful on the other side. So that had a big impact for me.
Oh, that's good. Well, actually, because I forgot to mention, it is a 4-in-1 course. So you receive 4 certifications: a certification as an NLP practitioner, certification as an NLP coach, certification as a hypnotherapist, and a timeline therapist. So with all of those certifications now under your belt, where do you find you apply the knowledge the most? What is most beneficial for you?
I think they all have so much to offer, without trying to say you want to use all the course and stuff like that when you go into coaching. But when I sit down with a client now, I kind of let the sessions guide me based off of where they're supposed to flow. But now I've got all these different tool sets that I can use. And NLP is such an important part of helping lead somebody down the path of finding out the answers that they're looking for, and helping guide them towards those. So I use all of them, really. I think for me, during the sessions, it's a lot of the NLP coaching and practitioner. And then after, as homework, I usually give them a hypnotherapy session or something like that as a take home. So it's kind of all rolls into one, and it allows me to coach them during the session, but then also, coach them when I'm not with them, and just keep the cycle going.
That's brilliant, Mike. That's a really good value add that you give to your clients. So let's talk about your success. So you came into it wanting to become a coach for years, and then you studied. So tell us what happened then. How was Maddocks Mindset born?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just came to, and it sounds really silly. Like, we all graduate and we all focus hard on what's my niche, who are my clients going to be, who am I trying to attract? And I didn't know. And I didn't really want, I mean, you and I had some phone calls after the course as to who I was trying to attract. And I couldn't tell you. And eventually I kind of just started settling back into my life again, and allowing my life to flow. And by living my normal life again, opportunities started popping up, and I went into the poker space again, which I was a pretty successful poker player. And then, one success after another on the poker felt. And then I started merging the mindset courses, and I was telling people on the felt that I was a full-time coach. And I remember the very first time I ever told somebody I was a full-time coach at a poker table, it just kind of like inside in me. And then people around started being like, "Oh, you're a coach?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a coach." not like that, I guess, but it felt like that inside. And then from there, it was me owning the fact that I was a coach, and people coming to me immediately, starting to be drawn to that energy. And then Maddocks Mindset was born. I went away for a couple of weeks and brainstormed the name, and one thing after another. And now I'm marketing all over, not just in poker, but in professional sports and for business leaders, and taking charge, and I guess attracting high achiever type clients now. So now I have my niche.
It's amazing. And it just took that going back to life, going back to find yourself. Yeah. I love your story.
Much pressure on.
Yeah, so good. And of course, your success on the poker felt was a testament to your successfully, mastering your own mindset. Would you say that there's a correlation between the two?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And for me, just being an athlete growing up, my whole life was formed around mindset and visualization, and just going out and achieving what you set your mind to. I was always very focused at that. So that was always my niche. I just maybe didn't realize, because the things that we carry with us that are our strengths, we just think everybody has them, and it's normal for everyone. If you're an empath, you think that everybody feels energy and emotions the way that you do. And it's not true. But when somebody shows you in a mirror that you're an empath, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wow, like that is my skill. That is my niche. And I can start working with that as a modality. So yeah, mindset's always been there. And I was just fortunate enough that it was kind of thrust into my face a little bit stronger through poker.
That's amazing. But I like that you're working with high achievers, because you have been very successful in your life to date, but moving from Canada to Australia, you're high achieving in a high performing role, and and I suppose it's an instant gravitation towards that because you've had success and you've had loss, and you can, it's with the failures that you have experienced in life that you know how to, because you came out the back of everything that you've done that successfully.
Yeah, and I think just kind of that high achiever modality, or that carving that niche, having traveled for business. I was in international sales as an international sales executive for a better part of, I think it was 7 years in that role and 10 years with that business. I wanted to become a coach. And so switching from this high paying sales software job to becoming a coach was something I always wanted to do, but I never knew how to do it. And I think that kind of bringing that back through to signing up with you guys in the Institute of Empowered Psychology, it allowed me to actually make that change and then just let it come in naturally.
Was there any times that you were on the fence and you're like, oh, maybe I should go back, to my old career, maybe I should go back? Or were you you said you had that aha moment and you were like, I'm a coach? Was that
no, absolutely not.
Brilliant.
I mean, I was making really, really good money. And if you took me back there at a quarter of the salary to be a coach versus, 4 times the initial, what I'd be making as a coach over there, I would choose coach every day because it's fulfilling and it's where I want it to be. And instead of being in a job that pays well, that I'm sitting there trying to figure out, like, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? This is not where I'm supposed to be, to now I'm where I'm supposed to be. And it's like, it's freedom, it's actual freedom. And it feels great.
Oh, I love that, Mike, because so many people are there sitting at the desk wondering what to do, or they're sitting at home again because they're in lockdown, or they're working from home, or they're homeschooling, or they don't know. And I think the last couple of years have been a real testament to, just kind of shaking things up for people, like making them realize, is this really what I want? Is this the relationship that I want? Is this the career that I want? Is this the life that I want to live? And there's been a lot of changes happening as a result. What would you say to somebody who was on the fence, who was thinking, yeah, I've always wanted to be a coach, but sure, like, I do this, and how could I possibly?
I mean, it depends on the level of risk that people want to take, because I was the kind of risk taker where very high risk. I just wanted to leave everything and just start fresh. And I didn't care if I had any money in my bank account or not. Other people might want to have some savings before they make that leap of faith so that they can live on it and do that kind of a thing. But take the risk. I mean, at some level, you have to take the risk. And if you never take risks, well, that in of itself is probably the greatest risk of all. So I think you absolutely should just, give it a shot, try. There's people waiting for you. I work with my coach every week now, and she was instrumental. I signed up with her after I went through your course and realized how powerful coaching actually was. And so when I work with her every week, she's always telling me that your clients are waiting for you. They're sitting there and they're waiting for you. So the ability for you to go out there and help people is there, and it will always remain there. But the clients are they're waiting. So the sooner you start, the sooner you can reach them.
It's so true. And now more than ever, people are looking for help in different ways. And the modalities that we have been trained in are so beneficial and really helping people make a massive change and shift in their lives.
Yeah. And as you know, now I'm signing up to become a master practitioner. Very excited about that. And it's not even that I felt that I needed this level of qualification in order to handle clients. I always knew that I could coach even somebody without having any qualifications, but I felt like I'd be a little lost, like I didn't have a framework or path. And even then, when I had my NLP certification, I'm now with clients and I have some things to go to, but there's other times where I feel a little lost. And I know that continuing my education and continuing my study gives me all of the structure that I need to be able to draw from those so that my coaching sessions go smoothly and that my clients are happy and that I actually can cause them to have the changes that they're looking for.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good point, Mike, because I guess, you know how intensive the 7-day NLP practitioner course is, because you're getting 4 certificates, you're getting trained across 4 different modalities. And it's very intensive because at every moment of the training, we are integrating those 4 modalities into the training. But the master practitioner is twice the length of time. It's 14 days, and it's like getting your master's essentially. So doing NLP prac is almost like junior college, and it's like getting, it's just that, like, that insight into what it is. You get the qualifications, you have an understanding for it, and then master prac is like just blowing it out of the water, taking it to a different level. And we do advise, like, take the master prac a year after you do your initial, like, be working as a coach, so that the difference, and you can see what you can bring back to your clients, and to be able to impact them in different ways and find new ways to help solve their problems and work with them to shift blockages that they have. It's exciting. I know that you're going to love it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
So, do you have any tips for our future students, Mike? What would you say to somebody who is saying, okay, I'm going to do it? What would you say?
First, I'd say congratulations on making that decision. It's a great decision. To get the most out of the training, be prepared. And that means, have a notebook, have a pen, have your drinks that you need for whatever to keep yourself going throughout the trainings, have the right food, eat properly, because it is intensive and it is energy draining. And more importantly than all of that, though, just go all in. Like, be open, bring the walls down. You're with good people, and it's the harder you go and the more all in you go, the more you're going to get out of it, as well as learn from it. So that's what I found. And yeah, I haven't had too much contact with the students since. I had quite a bit just post, but it still feels like a family. Like, I could reach out to any of them at any point now, right? And that sounds so cliche to say, but it was because you all kind of bare your soul during the course. So just be ready for that, and be open to it, and enjoy the ride.
Thank you, Mike. And thank you for choosing to study with the Institute of Empowered Psychology. We are so grateful to have had you as a student and continuing your studies with us. We can't wait to welcome you back into the Zoom room for training for your Master Practitioner, and to award you with your Master Practitioner certification. And of course, to see you succeed even more in your business, because it's why we do what we do, and it's why we train people to become coaches, to become hypnotherapists, is it so that they can go out and impact people around the world, and share what you learn, and change people's lives.
Yeah, and it's great. I have big dreams and big visions, and I can't wait to see where it all goes, and to see who else you guys kind of bring up through the coaching programs too.
I know, it's exciting. Well, Mike, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful to have you here with us today.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Ashlyn. And we will see you in the Master Practitioner course.